Hello, welcome. You're watching Times Now and the special News Hour edition on Sunday. Before we get to our focus and featured story, here are the headlines coming your way. Please take a look.
ना जीत पाए कोशिश यही है मेरी इस ज़मीं पर न विश कोई आए कोशिश यही है
9 years since the Mumbai terror attack that claimed the lives of 166 innocent civilians, victims still await justice. India pays tribute to the victims and the heroes of 26/11.
We have been putting pressure to Pakistan in bilateral way as well as in the multilateral forum also.
As India still mourns 26/11 till date, Pakistan celebrates terror messiah Hafiz Saeed, but instead of punishing him, India is still keeping the doors of dialogue open. And days after they insulted the national anthem, days after they insulted the national anthem, the Mehbooba government in J&K fails to act against students of the Jammu University. Is the state in action against the Azadi League only emboldening the fringe?
You're watching the News Hour Special Edition.
Good evening. At a time when India is remembering all those who perished in the 26/11 terror attack, those lives that were just taken away, snatched away from their loved ones, the plotter of that dastardly and cowardly terror attack has been freed in Pakistan by the Pakistani court system, by the Pakistani establishment and the Pakistani state. He's not only free to plot and further wage a violent, vitriolic, armed war against the Indian state, others like him, extremists inside Pakistan, are increasingly becoming violent. Protests have rocked major cities in that country recently, and the army has once again occupied center stage. At a time like this, we are now being told that secret talks, top secret telephonic engagements, if you will, happened between NSA Doval and his Pakistani counterpart Janjua. So naturally the question must be, this is the government's Pakistan policy, as the opposition has claimed, become a virtual, go-by-the-minute, improvise and hope for the best kind of operation? Or is the opposition missing something here? Diplomacy is dynamic, it's ever-changing, and where in all of this is our great ally and friend, the United States of America? Apart from the usual lip service and tough talk, where is the action on the ground? Isn't the US too delinking the Lashkar-e-Toiba from the Haqqani network to serve their own purpose? Tonight we ask the tough questions, ladies and gentlemen, on the Sunday News Hour. But first, take a look at this.
वो दर्द के परिंदे भी पाले हैं हमने वो दर्द के परिंदे भी पाले हैं हमने वो घाव सारे मिलकर संभाले हैं
As India marks the 9th anniversary of the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, Pakistan is celebrating a terror messiah, a man who has the blood of 166 innocents on his hands. But instead of punishing Pakistan, India is refusing to close the door for dialogue. Reports of India and Pakistan's national security advisors holding secret talks have surfaced. Interestingly, the dialogue between the two NSAs has survived a series of India-Pakistan crises. Sources tell Times Now that NSA Ajit Doval confronted his Pakistani counterpart with evidence on the ISI terror link.
The government of India's stand is very clear. We have been putting pressure to Pakistan in bilateral way as well as in the multilateral forum also. In the international forum, in various stages, we are absolutely making things very clear that Pakistan is the breeding ground for terrorism.
Both the allies and the opposition have welcomed the move.
India has taken up the issue and given evidence to Pakistan government how both governments are going to address this issue and sort out the issue in the coming days, we will have to wait and see.
सईद की रिहाई से तय हो गया कि पाकिस्तान अब भी जो टेररिस्ट फोर्सेस हैं उनकी एक्टिविटीज का सेंटर बना हुआ है, जिसको लेकर के अमेरिका तक ने भी अपनी चिंता व्यक्त की।
Islamabad continues to insult India by denying justice to the 26/11 victims. Then why are we rewarding terror with talks? That is the big question. Bureau Report, Times Now.
You're watching the News Hour Special Edition, Debate Number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Those are the big questions and many more. We will refer to them during the course of our debate. Joining us tonight, GVL Narasimha Rao, National Spokesperson of the BJP. Also with us, G Parthasarathy, former High Commissioner and somebody who knows Pakistan, who's dealt with Pakistan. Lieutenant General retired Shankar Prasad, the defense analyst, joining us as well. Dr. Dinesh Vashni, leader of the Communist Party of India. And completing our panel, our two guests, two Kashmiri guests. Tanveer Sadiq, spokesperson of the National Conference, joins us from Mumbai. And Irfan Hafiz Loan, he's a lawyer and quite sympathetic to the separatist cause in Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you for joining us as well. G Parthasarathy, I would like to start with you right now. The big questions also include today whether or not the government's Pakistan policy, as the opposition claims, is floundering, or as the government claims, is flowering. It's an ever-changing scenario, it's dynamic, and the government has responded as need has arisen. Do you really think when 26/11 plotter is freed today, or the farce of the trial that we saw in Pakistan, on the eve of 26/11, it leaves a, I wouldn't say bitter, but not a very nice taste in the mouth?
I put it this way, that I won't get into the politics of this, because we are in election season and everybody says what they have to say and want to say. But the fact of the matter is, you must understand the difference between a dialogue and a process of engagement. Even in times of war, you remain in touch with the adversary. At the height of Kargil,
no, I concede that channels are always open.
Yes.
Some channels are always open.
Yes.
But the whole side pass has left.
I tell you, in this case,
yeah.
There were to be a channel between the two DGMOs, agreed to in UFA. The Pakistan army has backed off. But you have to be messaging them precisely where we stand. And therefore, there is an established channel with the government, which it is not a dialogue. It is to talk about the issue of the day. We're not going to discuss Kashmir with them. We're not going to discuss the weather and sports contacts with them. That will be part of a dialogue.
What is an appropriate response? I mean, there are passions that are associated with 26/11. People feel they haven't been given any justice.
I think the government owes it to the people to make it clear that while there will be contacts at various levels, it does not constitute a dialogue. We will not enter into the composite dialogue process. Let me go back to the attack on our parliament, which was as bad as anything can be. We did not enter into a dialogue with Pakistan, but Brajesh Mishra was in touch with his counterpart, and then we finally agreed that dialogue will resume once that soil under Pakistan's control is not used for terrorism against
So you're saying at the height of a war, channels were always open, and this is just more of the same, routine. But
Yeah.
GVL Narasimha Rao, there has been in the past, I want to open this up right now. GVL Narasimha Rao has joined us as well. You know, people refer to hawks and doves, and I believe as a policy towards Pakistan, I would count you in the hawkish category, if you'll excuse me for saying so, Mr. Rao. Your critics, the unflattering and harshest ones, have said this is yet another flip-flop. The Modi government hasn't been able to get a handle on Pakistan, how to, you know, completely leverage India's economic might and our international standing to crush Pakistan, really, in this particular subject as well. So Hafiz Saeed is free, he's already making speeches against India, and this is being seen as a failure, as your feud with the Congress Vice President on Twitter told us all. Mr. Rao, please, opening statements.
No, I am not really concerned about what the opposition parties have been saying.
because unfortunately in this country, opposition parties have really not stood for the country, and I would say that very bluntly. Rather, they pandered to anti-India elements in Kashmir and also in Pakistan. So it's really difficult to really have some kind of a consensus on a foreign policy when you have a political opposition which wants to even play domestic politics based on Indo-Pak policy. So therefore, I'm not really unduly perturbed about it. But as far as the government of India's position and stand is concerned, we've been very consistent. I think we wanted to have the Prime Minister, even before he was sworn in, he lent a helping hand. He wanted a hand of friendship with all the neighbors, including Pakistan.
And how did Pakistan repay you,
Then Foreign Affairs
Mr.
Minister
Rao?
traveled to Pakistan.
How have they repaid us?
We had announced a new comprehensive dialogue, but it was derailed because of Pakistan's unwillingness to deliver on certain key parameters. So therefore, there has not been a dialogue nearly in the last 2 years. And you will call it a dialogue, as Mr.
No, I didn't call it a dialogue, sir. I'm saying how has Pakistan repaid our faith? You know, don't you at least admit, forget the Congress party and your political critics. Even former diplomats, people who worked in the MEA, have at times privately, of course, expressed that perhaps there's just too many changes, too many improvisations really vis-a-vis the Pakistan policy.
No, wrong. No, absolutely, I disagree with you, Atta. I disagree with that statement completely, because we have also been hearing the views of all former diplomats and very experienced foreign policy experts. They've always praised this government and the manner in which we have isolated Pakistan, the manner in which we carried out surgical strikes and got the whole world to rally behind us. And Pakistan has been begging for talks, but we have always made it clear to them, we will not engage in a dialogue with Pakistan at any level unless they deliver on terror,
our efforts
unless
to get
they stop
Saeed
terrorism, export of terror, unless they bring people, the perpetrators of terror attacks, to justice.
Okay, I want to go to Tanveer Sadiq, because he is, of course, from a mainstream political party with a stake really. You know, your leaders, Mr. Sadiq, in the recent past have been making noises that their critics, like the BJP, say are almost sympathetic to Pakistan's cause, almost sympathetic to the separatist cause. Now, do you believe this development of Hafiz Saeed, who, let me remind you, the US Department of Treasury has put a 10 million reward on anyone giving information about this man who they say is a global terrorist? The Pakistani courts have completely set him free. He's already talking about armed jihad and sending men and young boys to Kashmir for jihad. Now, do you believe that this is a failure at the center of engaging and trying to perhaps show Pakistan its place, or do you believe the engagement/talks are the only way, because ultimately you can't change your neighbor?
See, Athar, let's come to the point. I mean, there are two dimensions of Kashmir. One is the militancy part of it. Fair enough, when the talk of terrorism comes, the government of India should very strongly take it up with Delhi, take it on all quarters, take it on all platforms. There is one part wherever terrorism, we as a mainstream political party have all along condemned any form of terrorism inside the country or outside the country. But having that been said, what's really important is the fact that Kashmir is a political issue. There has to be a dialogue, and Pakistan is also a part of that dialogue. It's not that you will shy away from the whole issue. Now, please understand, this militancy, the issue between India and Pakistan has been going on for 70 years. No, let me complete. There has been 70 years. Look at the hypocrisy of BJP that.
No, this was
just one point.
And then they made him free.
The hypocrisy of BJP is such.
No, look at your hypocrisy. What Dr. Farooq Abdullah says all the time.
No, I just want to make a point here. See, the hypocrisy of BJP is such that the Prime Minister can go to Islamabad for a birthday wish. Prime Minister Vajpayee has met Musharraf in Agra, the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Militancy has not been a 10-year-old problem. The problem between India and Pakistan has been a 70-year-old. So please don't tell me that there have not been dialogues before. the fact that BJP or in that case any Prime Minister has to understand and has understood that the only way out is through a dialogue. Now I understand that there is a lot of hatred, there is a lot of problems when it comes to the part of terrorism. That is another problem that has to be dealt very thoroughly.
That's a concurrent problem, isn't it? When Hafiz Saeed, the plotter of 2611
is very important.
You know, before I go to Dinesh Vashti and others, let's go to G Parthasarathy here, because he's right. In a way, he's right. Tanveer Sadiq is right. Engagement in the past, he told me about it.
Let us be very, very clear. The only time we had a serious dialogue with Pakistan on Kashmir, on Jammu and Kashmir, was 2004 to 2007. And that was based on Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's assertion that while borders cannot be changed, they can be opened for cooperation. Now, this is what he said in Amritsar. Now, the moment, and those talks took place on Kashmir only when terrorism ended. The mistake which subsequently happened was when terrorism resumed, we continued with that dialogue and ended up with Mumbai. So there is a very clear distinction, and I would tell my friends from Kashmir, lay off the external dimension.
Lay off, okay.
You don't have any right to interfere in this as much as say the people of Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka.
Now General Prasad.
I mean,
one second.
Just a quick point.
Oh, very quickly, Tanveer.
We will talk to the people of Kashmir on our own. That's a different matter. That's an internal process.
But the
external.
You know, the point is that the dialogue has to happen. I mean, there has been dialogue
will happen. The dialogue
will. The point is that do you have an option other than dialogue?
You cannot dictate to this country.
War is not an option.
You cannot dictate to this.
And we people, because you know, we face the brunt every day in Kashmir, and we know what the war would cost both this part, India as well as Pakistan. We have seen people on the border. We have seen people getting killed, young children. So, of course, we as a political party may sound a little emotional, but the fact is that war is not an option.
We will talk.
Can I just bring it to some professional level rather than political level alone?
We will talk to Kashmir on Kashmir only when terrorism ends. That was the only time we did it. Even the previous government, and I'm quite certain.
So you can't wait till the final bullet is fired. You can't wait till then.
That is not for you to decide. That is for the people of India and the Parliament of India to decide.
Okay, on a policy level, General Prasad, apologies for coming to you late. Hold on. Okay, Tanveer.
Are you ignoring the whole Kashmir population?
Tanveer, hold on.
The whole Kashmir population doesn't want.
Tanveer, hold on, please. No,
some people in the
Mr. Parthasarathy, allow me. Gentlemen, allow me. No, allow me.
We are the people who are facing the brunt.
Tanveer, now you said that at 10 times. We have to move on. General Prasad, fade us down. So 1 second. Give me a second. General Prasad. On a more policy level, I want to go back. Do you believe...
Just let these gentlemen let me speak.
Yes, General Prasad, my humble submission is this to you, sir. General Prasad, do you believe that the muscular policy as advocated in the beginning of the Modi government term has been successful, number one? Number two, do you think that we have come a cropper again? Look at the Saeed farce. He has been freed, even though the Trump administration comes out with a very strongly worded response to that. They are still delinking LET with the Haqqani network for their own purposes. Why can't we leverage our great friendship with the United States? They are just paying lip service.
Yes. You asked many questions and I need to get a couple of minutes to answer them.
Sure.
First of all, let's just keep politics away and let's only talk about the professional aspects of dealing with Kashmir and dealing with Pakistan. There are no two opinions on the fact that Kashmir issue finally will have to be resolved by dialogue. In that dialogue process, Pakistan has no role to play. The second important point that I wish to make in the part of this debate is that yes, politically it sounds correct to have dialogue. Politically and peaceniks also want to have dialogue. There is no problem. As Partha said, some kind of talks take place with the DGMO at periodic levels, not only in the NSA, but even DGMOs talk periodically on routine matters. So let's not give that anything like a dialogue or talks. The important point which everybody seems to be missing at the moment is this: who do you talk to in Pakistan? And what do you talk about? When you say we want to talk to somebody, they don't know who we should talk to. Can we talk to the Prime Minister? We tried with Nawaz Sharif. Nawaz Sharif is going to be in jail soon. Who do we talk to? Do we talk to their army chief? Do we talk to their ISI chief? After UFA, a suggestion was made
that we will have meetings at the NSA level in Delhi and also at the DGMO level subsequently. What did Pakistan do? They didn't want to proceed with these talks. They didn't have the NSA talks just 12 hours before the talks, and they abandoned it.
So, General
they
Prasad,
abandoned the talks
even
with
more
DGMO.
relevant then?
Obviously, they don't want to talk. The only agenda they've got to talk about is Kashmir, which is not our agenda.
General Prasad,
Kashmir is not negotiable. It's not an issue of talking.
But
what is the subject to talk?
General
The
Prasad,
subject to talk is remove terrorism, arrest these terrorists, convict them and put them and hang them. Those are the issues. Are they willing to talk on them? Obviously not, because they are their own people.
I'll ask you
the
the same
ISI
thing I
rules
asked
the
G
government.
Parthasarathy.
Haven't you read it many times?
I'll ask you the
their
same thing,
ministers
sir. I
have no
asked G
control on the
Parthasarathy.
ISI.
General
Their
Prasad,
army chief
what
is completely
an
involved
appropriate...
supporting ISI
General Prasad,
and supporting terrorism.
Allow me, sir. Allow me. What is an appropriate response in the face of the Saeed farce that has played out in Pakistan? What is an appropriate response? Currently, the government says isolating Pakistan will double our efforts. How will we isolate Pakistan when the Trump administration is using Pakistan for their own back channel Afghanistan war, delinking Haqqani network with LET? Can we really trust anyone internationally? They keep changing colors as well.
I will tell you what the response. Today, the entire world has declared Pakistan a terrorist-sponsored state. They've also declared Hafiz Saeed as a proclaimed terrorist. They've also put a bounty on him. What does it mean? It means the international community accepts that if India takes any action against these people, it will be internationally acceptable and legitimate.
Okay.
Just as the Americans took against Osama bin Laden.
Okay.
We have to build capabilities. We have to build capacities. We have to build our will. We have to get our act together to see that we can do what we need to do to bring these culprits to book.
And
Pakistan will not do it, but Pakistan will never do it, despite Headley's evidence, despite 90 pages of evidence provided by India. We have to do it ourselves. But it is not an easy job. It has got many ramifications, and we've got to prepare for it.
General Prasad,
we haven't prepared for it for the last 25, 30, 40 years.
Now, the domestic opposition,
we need time to prepare for it, but we must decide today that we need to take this action. There is a response available.
I take your point,
sir. The response must be orchestrated, prepared, and put together with an act and unleash it at an appropriate time.
I take your point.
The time is not very long. We need to do it quickly.
With humility, I take your point. Dinesh Vashni, the domestic opposition currently, we saw the entire jibe about huglomacy that the Congress Vice President took. Your leaders have also been critical, really, of the way Pakistan and the Pakistan issue has been handled, or the response, appropriate or otherwise, given by the government, really, at various levels. You've criticized the Prime Minister for going to Lahore for Nawaz Sharif's kid's wedding. You've also criticized him for his muscular approach before he became Prime Minister. Do you believe, sir, that the fact that not only is Hafiz Saeed a free man, but also he's already making speeches, already asking for armed jihad, does it to you prove the failure of the government's Pakistan policy, or do you believe that the government has adapted as need has arisen?
No, Qatar, we have to, let me please allow first me to express on behalf of the Communist Party of India our tributes and respect to all those who left their life and all those officers and soldiers from the Mumbai police who laid their life for the nation unity and integrity and the national interest, that is the Mumbai attack. Second thing, I would like to tell you one thing. The Communist Party of India or any other political party in this country have no difference of opinion as far as national security is concerned, as far as fight against terrorism is concerned. The only difference of opinion of us, that is the CPI and the left parties, with the present dispensation at the central level, central government level, is the warmongering. We do not subscribe to the views of the warmongering. If it is imposed on us, then it is a different matter. Otherwise, wars are always cause of destruction. They are never a cause of the construction and the development. And always the wars are provoked by those monies, those who wanted to sell their arms, those who wanted to recapture the new colonial manner, the colonies for trade and commerce.
And all of us have seen who has benefited on two wars of
Mr.
Iraq. It is the America.
No, do you agree that on the anniversary of 26/11,
Syrian war,
do you agree that on the anniversary of 26/11, the plotter of that dastardly act walks free in Pakistan,
Americans were attacking different targets.
And not only does the government of India engage with Pakistan,
Pakistan is our
do you think that's disrespectful, sir?
I agree with
No, please.
Even in the highest.
You don't have to be very kind to the government today, sir. One second. Let me just go back to GVL Narasimha Rao for a second. Is GVL passed back? I want to talk. No, GVL. Let me just give you some examples of in the past. For this current Prime Minister, our Prime Minister has tried to at least approach Pakistan on various levels. May 2014, he invited Nawaz Sharif. He came.
Sir, my audio is not really properly set.
Sir, if you can hear me, sir, all attempts in the past by successive governments, not only Prime Minister Modi's government, have come a cropper, if I could, with Pakistan. August 2014, India calls off Foreign Secretary level talks with Pakistan High Commissioner. 1 month later, talks were called off with Pakistan National Security Advisor and Foreign Affairs Advisor Sartaj Aziz. Then Pakistan arrested Kulbhushan Jadhav. Then a UFA statement came, UFA statement came, July 2015. Then we understood that the Prime Ministers perhaps of the two countries, now of course one of them is not Prime Minister, had an understanding. They met yet again in November 2015, and I could quote various instances after. Then Pathankot happened, then Uri happened, and so on and so forth. So every time, even this government has tried, sir, we have come a cropper. Why still indulge Pakistan when they're not even listening to anybody else? There are extremists roaming around in that country today. Violent protests happening. The army is back in focus.
No, Atar. Atar, can I come in?
Yes, please.
I would disagree with this formulation. Yeah, I would disagree with this formulation that all governments have been unsuccessful. I think certainly in the last 3.5 years, we have been able to corner Pakistan, isolate Pakistan. We carried out surgical strikes. We did not come under any pressure to carry on with the dialogue process because we certainly wanted certain deliverables. So I think this government has clearly shown Pakistan, has put it in its place. I think while the previous governments had conceded that Pakistan was a victim of terror, the whole world today agrees that Pakistan is the factory for terror, is the breeding ground for terror. This finds a place in every multilateral meeting. This is a part of every resolution at the international level. So we have had a massive success. It would be disingenuous of you or anyone to say we have not been successful. But you can't expect a state like Pakistan to completely change its way overnight.
Why haven't we taken away the MFN status, sir? If the government is serious about isolating Pakistan, Mr. Rao, why are we still continuing with the MFN status to Pakistan? Why have we not revoked that yet?
That is not going to give you... No, Atar, I think that's a very wrong assessment.
Why?
Just changing the MFN status is not going to change. No, because we have hardly any trade with Pakistan. We don't even have 1/3 of 1% of our trade with Pakistan. So changing the MFN status is not going to put any pressure on Pakistan.
It touches our boundary and it has variety of reasons.
We have shamed them, we have named them, we have isolated them, and even Hafiz Saeed will have to be sent back. He will have to be put in jail in some amount of time. The Pakistan certainly is under pressure. Never ever in the past it was under pressure. And if there is a problem that this government faces, it is the attitude of the opposition.
Don't be so sectarian in your approach. Unfortunately, this is a problem with the BJP always, that they take a very extreme lines that is tilted towards
but you don't support the country on even foreign policy. You make personal attacks against the chief of army, and you want to really stand up with separatists. You want a dialogue when a dialogue is not in order. So you simply don't want to stand with the country's interests. You have clearly put this country in a deep embarrassment, but we have functioned well even without your support.
How India can achieve it. 1 second, gentlemen, please.
You have not fought the terrorism in Kurdistan.
Allow me to come back to Irfan Hafiz, known and G Parthasarathy here in the studio. G Parthasarathy. Now, I want to tell me who to speak to. Speak about GVL and Mr. Vashni. Give me a second now, please. Before I go back to Tanveer Sadiq, G Parthasarathy, quickly now. The fact that the Trump administration, and we were speaking about this before the program, there is this feeling in the new Republican setup in the US. They are increasingly losing confidence in Pakistan and how that particular country is run, vis-a-vis tackling terrorism as well. At the same time, they're delinking LET from Haqqani network because they have a war to fight in Afghanistan as well. Now, they will keep changing their equations with Pakistan because that's too strategically important a country for them. Can we really expect international pressure in the face of all that is happening from the Trump administration, an administration that is embattled domestically? And how seriously can we take somebody who's been investigated by their own FBI?
Firstly, let me say one thing. We have effectively seen to it that Pakistan has been isolated from all other countries in South Asia on a regional basis by shifting focus away from SAARC, getting Bangladesh, Bhutan,
Afghanistan.
and Afghanistan to boycott Pakistan, and therefore setting up a new framework for South Asia which excludes Pakistan. That is a major embarrassment diplomatically for them. Then, coming to the issue of terrorism, let's face it, there have been, I know for a fact, I've known Nawaz Sharif since 1982, there have been serious differences between Nawaz and the military on the question of terrorism.
Well, Nawaz is no longer in charge. He's on a weak wicket.
That's what I'm coming to. Now that the military, as long as Nawaz was going, there was a push to encourage him. Now I do not think we should get into a dialogue with this military, which is spreading terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, and is relentlessly doing it. It's an army-dominated regime. Till the pressure grows on the
and
army.
talk to whom? Atta.
I'll come to you. I'll come to General Prasad. Let him finish his point. Tanveer Sadiq, then General.
I want to bring in a new point, Atta.
Let him finish his point, sir.
General, let me finish.
Yes.
Let me just say, a process of engagement between DGMOs, between the NSAs has to continue on issues of security to tell the Pakistanis where what the
So you're saying Mr. Doval is reading Janjua, the Riot Act, and that must continue?
That must continue.
Okay, fair enough. Tanveer Sadiq, then General Prasad. Tanveer Sadiq, go ahead.
You know, Atar, it's very amusing when they say, isolate Pakistan. Do you know, I mean, I need to ask two quick questions to both G Parthasarathy and GVL. Number one, if they're saying that they want to isolate Pakistan, why did they withdraw the objection of Secretary General of the SAARC, which was the Pakistani guy who was appointed there? And number two, the CPEC. That the whole activity of CPEC is in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Why doesn't anybody talk about that? Why doesn't they talk about that they want to isolate Pakistan, but they have never, they don't have the guts to speak about what is happening in that part of Pakistan because they know that China is involved. So I would really want to ask them these two questions.
It's unfair to say India hasn't raised CPEC.
We have got the Americans to condemn the CPEC. What are you talking about? We have boycotted the summit. We have undermined,
is that all you want?
We have undermined the belt in Hambantota. What are you talking about? You stick to talking about your separatism in Kashmir and not on things you know nothing about.
Tanveer Sadiq, respond.
You withdraw the objection and then you say you want to isolate them.
What objection? What objection have we withdrawn?
He's talking about the SAARC fellow who's a Pakistani.
Is appointed under the SAARC charter. These people
the SAARC Secretary General for the Pakistan.
These people, it was before we did this.
Okay.
And we isolated
you
them.
were now objecting.
Tanveer, I'll come back to you. Give me a second with General Prasad there, and I think we should also get back Irfan Hafiz, who hasn't spoken right now.
You want to change your whole point of view. Anyway.
Okay, General Prasad, coming back to you quickly.
Let me just make one or 2 points.
General Prasad, go ahead.
I just want to make 2 points. Partha will agree with me. The international community.
No, but why does
have done the best they can.
I have a point to make.
Finally, it's us, we have to resolve our own problem. As far as dialogue bit is concerned, the SCO is yet another forum where a meeting is going to take place soon. And that is the time when all SCO members must be diplomatically made to make statements against Pakistan and the way they're behaving and the way they're perpetrating terrorism. That's one more forum which are going to meet very soon in the next few days, must also be exploited diplomatically. While the DGMO talks on a routine matter and the NSF talks on the routine matter are insignificant, let's not think of them as dialogues. As I mentioned, and Partha will agree with me, and perhaps Partha can support when I say, who do we talk to? When we say that DGM was relieved after the last UFA meeting, the DGM refused to come. You think the Prime Minister of India is going to speak to their army chief or the ISI chief? I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. And the last point I want to make, Atar, is this, that the international community is doing what they can. But finally, it is hurting us. And we have to develop capabilities, if not developed already, to use those capabilities to resolve our problem with Pakistan.
But where's the political will?
Those capabilities need not be discussed on television channels, but Partha will agree with me that we ought to develop our own capabilities.
General Prasad, I want to bring GVL in, and one surgical strike, the government of course took credit and said this is something never done before. Of course there were different versions of it there as well. This is the first time it was publicized, the critics said. But GVL Narasimha Rao, one surgical strike, and from there we move on to capabilities we already have. Is there political will to use those capabilities, sir? When the Pakistani courts and the establishment have freed the plotter of 26/11, what else is there but to explore the quote-unquote possibilities and technicalities that General Prasad mentioned? Is there political will?
No, other surgical strikes have demonstrated that this government has the will, and our forces have the capability to carry out precise attacks. I think the Pakistan's bluff had been called. I think in the run-up to the surgical strikes, the kind of comments their defense ministers and Pakistani army chief had made, I think we simply called their bluff. They were simply unable to retaliate. They had to even resort to lie of saying surgical strikes didn't happen. So this government has the commitment, has the capability and the conviction to do whatever it takes, whatever is required to ensure that our interests are protected.
Okay.
But I'm appalled as to why parties like National Conference, why do they want to become puppets in the hands of Pakistan? Why do they speak like agents of Pakistan when they come on national television? Why don't they talk about people of Jammu and Kashmir?
Isn't that a harsh classification? Because there can be points of view here. Isn't that a harsh classification for the National Conference spokesperson here? Because they also...
That's what Dr. Farooq Abdullah has himself reduced himself to.
Okay, Tanveer, you want to respond to that quickly? Then I'll start wrapping up. And again, I come back to the central point. What is an appropriate response?
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You know, if you remember, I'll just take GVL a little in the past. If you remember when Mufti Muhammad Saeed Saab was the Alliance Chief Minister, he had thanked the militants and the Pakistan for his elections, and they have an alliance with the same political party in Jammu and Kashmir. I mean, it's so, this is the height of hypocrisy that they call us anti-national, and then they have very conveniently had an alliance in Jammu and Kashmir. But see, that's besides the point. But my point is that at the end of the day, till yesterday, they were saying that they will not talk to anyone in Kashmir.
Wear one hat when he is in power in a military way,
in administrative way. But at the end of the day, they were compelled to appoint Dineshwar Sharma as the interlocutor. Same is the case with
they won't call him an interlocutor, Tanveer Sadiq. They still say he's a representative of the government.
I wish there was the other way out, but that is not.
I'm not sure if they're calling him an interlocutor. I think he's a representative of the government. That's what the official government line is. So I'm not even sure what his mandate is. You know, I know that your leader met him. I know that your leader met him, but we don't know what the details about that meeting. You can share if you want. What was discussed?
Yeah. I mean, the first day they called him an emissary. The second day they called him a spokesperson. The third time they called him an interlocutor. Now this is the confusion that is inside the BJP right now. They really don't know what to do, not in terms of bilateral, in terms of trilateral. They really don't know what exactly they should go. And that is what is really creating problems in both Kashmir and elsewhere.
GVL, you want to respond quickly before I start wrapping up?
Title he goes by. No, the mandate given to Mr. Sharma is known to the entire country, and it does not matter by what name he wants to go by, what name each one wants to look at him. The title and designation do not matter. He has the authority of the government of India to have a dialogue with any section of the Jammu and Kashmir society. So he's simply acting as a representative of the central government. Why does it bother you what title or designation is given to him?
Okay, my simple question now is this. To somebody who has engaged with Pakistan at the highest level.
He cannot talk to anyone.
Okay.
Your General Secretary says he can talk to Hurriyat.
Okay.
The Home Minister says he can talk to anyone.
Okay. 1 second. Tanveer now, Tanveer.
So if you know the answer, please tell us.
Tanveer, allow me now. We have G Parthasarathy in the studio, and I'm going to start wrapping up and take one bullet question from one of my guests, if I can, rifle through the guest list, if you will. G Parthasarathy, you have dealt with the Pakistani leadership at the highest level in the past as well. You've seen how previous governments have dealt with Pakistan, have constantly changed, improvised. As I said, diplomacy is dynamic. Do you believe the 3.5 years, or 3 years really, let's say, of the Prime Minister Modi's Pakistan policy, how different do you see the mode of engagement, the results, as compared to, let's say, the Vajpayee government or the Manmohan Singh government? And do you believe this government is on the right path, or can it do better?
You cannot compare governments when dealing with Pakistan, because the circumstances with which they deal with Pakistan are different. It depends on the international support Pakistan is getting. It depends on the extent to which the army is powerful and the civilian government is weak. But the fact of the matter is, domestically, I'm happy there are 2 national parties in Jammu and Kashmir, which we are dealing with, within India. Outside, I think the contacts with Pakistan have to continue. I told you I was talking to Nawaz Sharif's government during Kargil. Those are contacts to address immediate issues.
Does it not send a very conflicting message when you say boycott Pakistan artists, don't even give them visas and passports, but we will talk to them even after they free Saeed?
I am not necessarily in favor of dealing with the Pakistani people the same way as you deal with their terrorists and their army.
Okay.
They are 2 separate categories. There are a lot of people in Pakistan with whom you can engage and usefully.
All right, very quickly then.
Let us be very clear about that. Sports contacts are a different matter, but people you can engage. Listen, let me tell you one thing. Mr. Vajpayee's visa policy of liberalization with the Wajis in Pakistan changed the dynamics of our relations with Sindh.
Okay, all right. I want to get a quick response from...
But one last point.
Yeah.
Act very tough with the government. Pay them back in their own coin for what they
General
do.
Prasad, 10 seconds to you, 10 seconds to GVL, and we'll end with Tanveer Sadiq and Dinesh Varshney. Go ahead, sir. Your takeaway from developments about secret talks. What is an appropriate response, General Prasad, right now?
Because they have their own place. But dialogue has to be proper with an agenda. And the only agenda we have today is how to stop terrorism. And Pakistan's leading question they must discuss are to stop terrorism, to bring these horrible fellows to books and convict them and hang them because of the crimes they have done, and not let them go scot-free.
Let's start at least with Hafiz Saeed. Unfortunately, no more time for closing remarks.
Dawood
Ibrahim, let's not forget Dawood Ibrahim as well. No more time, unfortunately. GVL, I'll come to you next time. Thank you for joining us. Tanveer Sadiq, Dinesh Varshney, General Prasad, as well as in fact, Irfan Hafiz didn't join us, so thank you all for joining us. Hope we had a constructive debate today. We'll keep an eye out on where this NSA secret telephonic parlays, engagement talks, whatever you want to call it, goes and takes us. For the time being, I'm Athar Khan signing off. We'll be back with updates and news. Please stay tuned to the Sunday News Hour.
The News Hour Special Edition will be right back after this break.